What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Bryce James. I watched Bryce James so far play two games. Well, I watched two of Arizona games. He played in one. He played in an exhibition game, and he didn't play in the game when they played against Florida, right? But in watching Bryce and checking out the situation with Bryce at college, I noticed, and I'm thinking that Bryce James, in my opinion, is going to turn out to be a better basketball player than Bronny James, right? And so when you think about Bronny James, both of their as both of their careers, their high school careers, basically mirrored each other, right? Bronny James wasn't really all that good, wasn't like a standout basketball player at high school, and neither was Bryce. They played on some good teams, and they had some really good teammates. But those guys, they weren't the standout ball players on their teams. So Bronny James, as you know, go to USC and he stays there for 1 year. And a lot of people thought that Bronny James should have stayed in college longer so he can develop his game, which I agree. Bronny should have stayed at USC longer so he could have developed his game, right? And so that's where I think Bryce is going to have the advantage. He's going to have the opportunity to turn into a better ball player. Now, watching Bryce play his first game, I mean, his game looks exactly like Bronny James. Like they don't have any. They're playing with a lack of confidence. Both of them are playing with a lack of confidence, and it seems like they hesitate a lot. And I think the reason why they're playing with a lack of confidence is because basically they have been given everything. They've been put in a position to succeed without earning it, right? Like for instance, the high school team that Bryce and Bronny played on, like you don't get to play on that team unless your parent have some influence like LeBron James did, or either you were a kid that was exceptional, like you were an exceptional high school high school talent, right? So if you're on that team that they played at in high school, you had to be really, really good, or your parents had to be LeBron James. You know what I mean? Your father had to be LeBron James, and so that right there put them in a position where they didn't really earn their spot on the team. They was given a spot on the team because of who their father was. Now, Bryce James in college is going to, because he's coming behind Bronny James. And what happened with Bronny James being able to leave college early and go to USC, Bronny James was able to leave college early because his father had leverage with the Lakers, right? It won't be the same for Bryce. Bronny will have to stay in school. I'm thinking he'll have to stay there for the full 4 years and develop his game to the point where as though he'll at least be able to get somebody to take an honest look at if he's qualified to even be in the NBA. And so in those 4 years, and Bryce is on a really good team. Arizona, I think, is ranked I think they ranked number 13 in the nation. And they just beat Florida. Like I said, they beat Florida, which Florida is ranked number 2. So Arizona, in my opinion, I think they're going to climb higher than even number 13. But anyway, Bryce will have to develop his game at Arizona. And the coach already said, like, it's about developing Bryce, and that's how Bryce will earn his minutes. So his father's not there, and his father don't have any influence. And I think the same way that Bryce will have to develop his game is the way that Bronny should have developed his game. That's what a lot of people say. A lot of people say, well, Bronny should have stayed in school and developed his game. Because if you look at Bronny now, at the pro level, and his heart is really not in it. Um, he don't when and then when you get to the NBA, you don't really have time. They don't really have time to develop this game. You that's something you have to do on your own. And Bronny is not going to be able to develop at that level because everybody that he's playing with or practicing against is trying to really they're trying to secure their spot on the team. So and they are a little bit leery of Bronny because of who he is, as far as like helping him out. So that he's not really going to receive any help. The guys might not come out and say it, but you're not going to have people that want to work out with him or practice with him, at least not other professionals. He may be able to work out with people, you know, coming up in the ranks like other college players, but even G League players. If you play on the same G League team as Bronny and you see what happened to other guys who were better than Bronny and got the opportunity and didn't get the opportunity to advance because of who Bronny is, they're not going to really want to practice or help Bronny develop his game. So he's not going to be able to do stuff like that, right? But the situation is not going to be the same for Bryce James. Bryce James is playing at a college. Um, Although he has some really good some teammates. Let me see who is this guy. He got a guy on his team. This guy Bradley is a very good team. Jay Bradley and the guy K Pete for Arizona. Those two guys are really good, right? And probably could play at the next level. But they not really because of who they are and the amount of talent that they have, they not really worried about Bryce James, you know. And as a matter of fact, they'll probably be brutally honest with Bryce, and let him know if he's not up to standard, he's gonna have to get up to standard if he wants to earn some playing time on that Arizona team. I see Bryce James getting a little bit more confident as the years go on. And those coaches at Arizona really going to stay on top of Bryce James, right? They're going to make sure because they want him to develop. They want him to earn his time. And so that they're not under like LeBron James' thumb at Arizona. They don't really have to play him. If he's not earning minutes, he's not going to get like in the Florida game. Like he didn't get no time. Going into the game, he understood that he wasn't going to get any time. And so that's going to cause him to want to get better, to work on his game so he can he can earn some playing time. And I see Bryce really, and it's really going to be a mental thing for Bryce James too, because now he's not under his, you know what I mean? Like he's not under his father's spotlight. And so by him not being under his father's spotlight, he's gonna have to be out there on his own, doing his own thing. And so that's why I think eventually Bryce James will wind up being a better basketball player than Bronny James. Now, will Bryce James be good enough to make it to the NBA? I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure if he'll get that good. He has a long way to go, as far as he's got to find his own identity as a basketball player. Like, what's his game? Right now, he don't have an identity as a basketball player. Like, is he a slasher? Is he a spot up shooter? Can he be physical? Do he study the game? And do he play like and right now, like he's just going through the motion. He looked more so mechanical than anything. Like you could tell a kid who runs a lot of drills, but don't actually play the game. Like there's a difference between a kid that play a bunch of one-on-ones and challenge other kids than a kid who runs a bunch of drills, right? You gotta it's because it's more to basketball than running drills. You have to be able to make plays and be creative, take contact, so because it's an art to it. It's an art to it. So he has to develop that creative side of his game instead of just being mechanical. But I that's why but I still think he's going to be a better basketball player for playing at college going through the program of Arizona rather than what what his brother Bronny did. And so that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. With that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.